Greetings and good Monday morning to each and every one of you. We have a week in front of us, and I think a lot is going to be revealed. I think I was encouraged over the weekend. You may not be a church person or a religious person, but one of the primary streets that I'm close to, one of the main streets, um, is a street full of churches, and they were all full yesterday. That's a good thing. People are realizing that they're not just in a fight against crazy people; they're in a spiritual battle of some sort. And welcome to the realization. So I won't hide who I am or what I am, and I will just say thank you for supporting me. We've got so much to get to today. I'm grateful that we have the 6 Minute Daily and bonus time available. There are some stories I'm going to bring to you in bonus time they may not have seen yet. And it just adds to the stack of people that you didn't realize were not good people, let's say. Weatherman's out there, got a little bit of a headache, but I'm glad he's here. We got our friend Morgan King. Extreme Meme is out there. We've got the lovely Jill out there. We've got Ms. Pick Cafe out there. We've got Caveat Ties and so many more folks. Gollum, thanks for joining us on the Green Machine as well. Just a Dutchie is in the house. Good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. Of course, I already highlighted Penny, Penny, Penny. We got OC Dobbins from the Belly of the Beast itself. Good to see you, my friend. And Kaladin 910, your favorite radio station. Let's see. We got Davina out there in the world. How you doing, dear? Hope you're doing well. And let's see. A few other folks rolled in the door. We are running out of time uh, to get through these shout outs. So thank you all for being here early today. William Schweikert is in the house. Good morning to you. We've got so many folks. This is going to be a good day. Share the stream, share the dream. Make sure everybody is aware that the 6 Minute Daily is Monday through Friday at the same bat time, same bat channel. Although coming up on the time change here in a couple of weeks, we'll be changing the time as well. So just keep an eye out. Also keep an eye out for great human beings like D. Bud Martin, one of the master wrenches here. We've also got, many others. And we appreciate them. I want to say a big shout out and thank you to Tony Piacente for 10 Culture Casino memberships. That is incredibly generous. We also have Biggles Mets for 57 months, folks. I think that's as long as I've had monetization. I want to say thank you to Biggles Mets. I want to apologize once again for not making it to the movie. I was supposed to see those Demon Slayer things, Infinity Castle with the guys, and I couldn't do it. I had a massive migraine that is still with me today. So it's been 5 days of headache now. So Weatherman, I feel you. Look at all these great people out there. I appreciate you. Appreciate the support, and thank you, Lightning Sketch Productions. We'll get to your super chat right after the 6 Minute Daily. Speaking of which, 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and wherever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in. And if you take a look here, we can have a massive merger. That's what the thumbnail was about. And this is an acquisition outright of Warner Brothers Discovery, a merger that, could this happen? Yeah, it could. In fact, it's suggested it's already in process. This is not unlike when Disney acquired Fox. It's just Skydance has decided to play to win, and I think they're going to. They have the money. The Ellison family has the capital. They have the desire. They want a media empire on top of a tech one, because you have to remember, Ellison is Oracle, and that'll also bring a technology advantage to them over any of the other studios. So could this happen? Is this happening? Yes and yes. And on that note, we'll have to wait and see. But we've got Warner Brothers Discovery, maybe sparking a bidding war because of their appeal to purchase. This is something that came out on Saturday from our friends over at Yahoo Finance. And you watch that just climb. Speaking of climbing things, Lots of things are climbing today. Dow futures climbing, S&P futures climbing, NASDAQ climbing, Russell climbing. Yeah, that's good. We like that. We like that a lot. Let's move on to, hey, Sydney Sweeney. By the way, the film Americana wasn't a bomb, and it wasn't. It had a very limited release, and a lot of people were just trying to take a swipe at Sydney Sweeney. But this is an indie. Indies aren't the same, and I'm glad I get to cover this story. It's been about, it's almost a month now that they've been trying to claim this. It was a solid performance for an indie film with almost no budget. Moving beyond that, just want to say the Utah governor has started to speak a little bit. At least he did on the 14th. The Associated Press did their level best not to actually call out exactly what the situation was, but certainly that it is a leftist. Now, they didn't call out the extremities or any of the other facts that we've known throughout the weekend, and I don't know if media is comfortable with the fact that they can't unspin. They can't spin, unspin. They can't spin this. They are largely to blame for a lot of negative activities and have been, influential in limiting the understanding of who are these people doing these things. We're not going to let them do that anymore. Fox News' Brian Kilmeade had to apologize for just kill them comments about mentally ill. They're saying homeless people, but he was speaking in a broader sense. And look, I'm not going to be an apologist for this guy. You cannot go around, encouraging violence. In fact, Bill Maher condemned people who mock Charlie Kirk's death. He says, "I think you're gross," and spoke very kindly about Charlie in his comments. But he's still unhinged in a lot of ways without a whole understanding of the truth. Chris Martin has encouraged fans to send love to Charlie Kirk's family. That was in the midst of his concert, a Coldplay concert. I kind of think this is a good message, and it shows the difference between people, because Bob Villain is being excused from venues now. Nobody wants this guy. The Witcher gets season 4 premiere date. Not that I care, but Liam Hemsworth as Geralt, it doesn't look like it's going to work. So that's coming. So you're going to get season 4, whether you want it or not, but without, Henry Cavill. So if you want to tune in, October 30th is the date. We need to move faster, so let's do this. Let's see. We did that. Yeah, here we go. The U.S. has a deal that has been reached to acquire TikTok. Details are sparse, but are coming out now. And it's also going to be part of a trade talk as well. Tesla stock is rising as Elon buys more than 2.5 million shares worth about $1 billion. That's good. Rather than do a buyback, just buy it yourself. Wall Street ticks toward another record because Tesla's zooming higher. And also some speculation on what's going to happen in the future with the Fed. Maybe they'll finally get rid of this corrupt lady and the guy sitting next to her, and we'll be better off in just a few months. We got Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, as I said, extraordinary. You can catch the box office video I dropped this morning, but 70 million is the biggest anime debut of all time in the U.S. Mind you, this film is breaking records, so go watch the breaking record video that I put out this morning. The EPA wants to end a requirement that large polluters report their greenhouse gas emissions. I've always thought this is foolish. Just try to limit your pollutants. And you know what? If you end up poisoning people, then you can be held accountable. I'd like to do that in front of things, but I don't think it's necessary to bow down to the green moves that have done nothing to do anything about what's going on the planet. JD Vance is going to be hosting today's episode of the Charlie Kirk Show, and he'll be paying tribute to his friend. And, you can watch that. We got, let's see, a couple more stories, including this one. Microsoft has resolves European Union probe into Teams, but there will be others coming for them. And finally, quick reminder, a wildlife agency is letting you know bear appetites are at a seasonal high. So be bear aware and don't become bear chow, because there have been a number of bear attacks across the country. And that's all I have to say about that. We got a couple of super chats we've got to acknowledge here right off the bat, and we will do so in bonus time. So stick around. We got at least 45 minutes, I would imagine. maybe more. Speaking of the super duper chats, real quick thank you to the amazing Tony Piacente once again for 10 Culture Casino memberships. This is a great way to start a Monday as we get closer and closer to the daily goal of parking about 50 to 100 of you as members. And you're not going to want to miss tomorrow night's watch party as we watch the original 1987 version of The Running Man. So you can catch myself and Comics Division, otherwise known as Ian, hanging out. So if you're a member, uh, you should already have a notice in your community tab on the channel, and or perhaps on the bell icon that lets you know that this is happening. So there'll be one more warning, and you can join us. It will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. Pacific Time. There's that. So once again, thank you to Tony Piacente for getting more people the chance to do that. And thank you to Lightning Sketch Productions, who is a very positive influence indeed. $5 super chat to say, are we setting woke losing its seeing that's see, I have to remember to read ahead. Are we seeing woke losing its influence over culture and cooperation at last? Yes. Yeah, I think you are. And I don't think a lot of people can argue that. You're watching the silent masses that voted to change things, voting again, this time on X and other platforms, basically revealing the people who are on the side of evil, that are not on the side of humanity, that are on the side of destruction. And they're being revealed. And if you have not seen the parade of firings, well, get ready. I think I'm going to make a couple of videos about what's going on in this latest cultural turn that I think is for the better for all of us. I mean, everyone, even the evil people themselves. And it's pretty easy. I know people say you're throwing around that word a lot. Culture. You're being very judgmental. Yeah, I'm going to be judgmental. It's the tolerance that led us to this point. You can't tolerate yourself into a prison cell. Got to stop doing it, guys. Um, and you'll be lucky if it's just a prison cell. Honestly, I'm not messing around anymore. So you're going to hear what I think all the time. Graph Webb, the most consistent human being on planet Earth, sends a $2 super chat saying the most important thing that you can do for your digital health, for freaking sake, cancel Disney Plus. Yeah. Hashtag cancel Disney Plus. This message should be all over the internet right now. Look, Disney should have to fear they're not good. We need to, you know, we need to remind them that they used to be a family company, and now they're on. Well, they're not on the family side anymore. They're not even on America's side. They're anti-American, anti-family, preachers of evil, and that's the way it is. Just look at what they do in their own movies. Just insane. Weatherman over on the Green Machine for 5 Culture Casino Cash says, we have a problem in America, indeed. We have people that hate God among the God-fearing, loving people. That's right. We cannot mingle with these peeps because they only want death. And we, the normals, want life. Yeah, I think the human race has a lengthy history of little unfortunate incidents of evil and people that lead evil. And that's been the way it's been throughout the course of humanity. And then you have the God-fearing people, the God-loving people that well, rise up against it. And every time it's happened, we've risen up against it. And you just have to look back in the past. You can look at the voting records of the evil people and understand where they come from, what their mindset is. And we can get into, everything that happened along the way in American history, but it's always been every good thing has always been fought by one side. That's it. Dean Krantz for 5 Culture Casino Cash says there are still some wokesters left. My city council is voting to make Mount Pleasant uh, sanctuary city tonight. I will speak, but they are all Dems. I look, go, make your voice known. Say, why are you voting to break the law? Why are you trying to provoke hate? Because that's what that action is. Why are you doing this? Why are you willing to break the law and announce to everybody you're willing to break the law? There is no such thing as sanctuary cities, not in the sense that they're trying to use them. And at this point, I mean, you've seen the results of having illegal people in your cities. You've seen the results of allowing criminals to escape their suitable prison sentences multiple times and commit multiple crimes. 14 times in the case of that young lady, that legitimate immigrant from Ukraine. 14 times. And then that magistrate, not even a real lawyer, not even trained in the law, not a bar member, becomes a magistrate and allows this criminal back out amongst us. Let's not do that anymore. Okay. And thank you, Dean, for fighting back. We all need to be fighting back, folks. It's up to us. We got to fight. All right, I got some things I want to cover today. I'm stewing, guys, and the fact that I haven't just gone full crazy human is because of y'all. I was telling somebody reached out. I think it was Mega Based Dad to the larger folks on X, and I just said, look, 4 days of talking now. 5-6 days of talking for me since the first incident occurred has helped. It's also helped me clearly refine my position, and that's what talking can do. Talking and debate. Can't be afraid of talking and debate. Just can't be. Regardless, let's talk about not raising your kids right. That seems to be an epidemic in a lot of different ways. And we're going to talk about these types of issues in future bonus times. Oh, another reason that, we're going to see the time change at the time change is maybe so I can reach more people. We'll see. But when I look out and I see that, you have these celebrities that did a terrible job with their kids, it's always reflected in their actions. You need 2 involved parents in every household. Sorry, it's the case. Sometimes you have a divorce, you might have 4 involved parents in a couple of households, but parenting is really important. So let's get into it. Let's go take a look at bonus time, shall we? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's daughter is being slammed online for insensitive comments made hours after Charlie Kirk's political assassination. And if you look at it, there seems to be a broader conspiracy to this, but that'll evolve over the next few days. So, written today, very early this morning, coming out of New York through the New York Post, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's daughter, Ava Rain, drew backlash by making insensitive comment that appeared to be directed at Charlie Kirk just hours after he was assassinated. Rain, 24, who followed in her father's footstep as a WWE wrestler, shared an X post from comedian Gianmarco Soresi on her Instagram story, which read, "If you want people to have kind words when you pass, you should say kind things when you're alive." This is the most uninformed and silly reaction to this because there was never a man more kind when trying to show you the error of your ways than Charlie Kirk. You couldn't change his mind. This is a principled man. He understands things at a higher level than someone like Ava does. Ava's an idiot. Okay. And I don't use that word lightly. It's easier and easier to use it these days with a growing number of people in our general population. But she's 24, uh, graduating age at a university, especially if you're pursuing a advanced degree. People that try to make the argument, well, these are just college kids. Well, that's the problem. These are indoctrinated and being more indoctrinated every day, college kids, at the very colleges they're paying for their indoctrination from, not recognizing that they don't have the ability to critically think or actually analyze situations and come up with solutions. So, yeah. Now, though the post did not name Kirk, um, uh, you know, Rain doubled down, adding a comment of her own in a repost on her X account. Ava said, I'll stand behind this, she said. Be kind now more than ever. You know, if I weren't using the amazing amounts of restraint I have demonstrated on live streams this week, I would be using a very uncomfortable name that ladies don't like about this person right now. I'll just say clueless human. So there's that. So Simone Johnson, that's her real name. Maybe he's going to get a lot of heat now. So I want to say thank you to the New York Post for getting this one because I didn't see it. So, of course, the words were shared just hours after Kirk was assassinated in cold blood in front of his family, his young children. And somebody wrote back, be kind or get assassinated. I'm sure you've said something unkind. I know your dad has. What an idiotic statement, somebody said. I think I agree with that. We all say unkind things all the time. Is that a threat or call to violence? You have to start to assess what some of these people are actually saying because they didn't think about it. They just reacted. Right? Or am I wrong? Am I getting it wrong here? Or are these people know they're being evil? I try to assume the best in humanity, but maybe that's a mistake. Most likely, anyway. But Tony Piacente comes out saying, I thought we settled the United States versus federal laws in the 1800s. I'm confused. Huh? Well, there you go. And this is the rub, right? Because most people, they didn't have civics. Tony, you obviously had some kind of civic training in school. I did. I even took American government, which was an elective. I took a bunch of classes in high school that gave me more understanding of our government and how it operates and how the three branches are intended to interact and who's in charge of what and why. I learned all that stuff, you know. And as much as I hate the excessive use of executive orders, it seems like that may be the only way that you can get things done nowadays because you literally have judges breaking the law with nationwide injunctions which aren't a thing. It's not encoded into law. Judges should not be able to exercise that level of authority. The only kinds of authority that the judiciary has is the interpretation of the law and the judgment of whether it's been violated or not, whether it be criminal or civil. The ultimate law of the land is the Constitution, and the only people who can really grant the authority of the Constitution over the country is the Supreme Court. Everybody else is so different conversation for sure. But I will say this. We definitely settled this years ago, Tony. Archer Merchant comes through with a $2 super chat saying, will Sean Ost what's his last name? Sean Austin. Yeah, the kid that was in Lord of the Rings. Anyway, as head of SAG after change things, he's a kinder person. Some clips of him in an interview were recently aired this weekend, and He seems like an actual human being, and I really do appreciate that. So I don't know if it'll change it, but I really hope it does. I really hope you start to see somebody exercising intellect in that official capacity. You're starting to see unions turn and starting to support the right side of the equation because they don't want to be affiliated with the people supporting the madness. And right now, I'm sorry, there are reasons why people are leaving the leftists. They're trying to get far away from the leftists. They may be liberal and leftist different. Liberal, I'm a center left guy. I wasn't necessarily a liberal. I was, you know, libertarian would be what would be you would describe me as. Um, so I, don't be evil. That's just the beginning of every day for every person on the planet. Don't be evil. And then you start telling people that you are evil. I mean, okay, thanks for making that easy for me. That's kind of how I feel about people like Ava here, who's actually again, that's not her name. Let's get her name again. Uh, what was her name again? I don't know. Simone Garcia Johnson, because I think she took her mother's middle name there. Her middle name is her mother's, or formerly her mother's last name would be my guess. But there she is, attending the world premiere of Moana 2. Yeah, a number of fans replied to Rain's post with the viral gif of her father shouting, "Shut up, biatch," into a microphone during a wrestling match. Others also pointed out she may be less afraid of facing backlash from the WWE because of her Nepo baby status. Also true. I will say this. Um, and thank you, Archer. I'll answer your question simply this way. I hope so. I hope SAG after is better. Let's grab this one from Tony. We got a few of them. I got to get to all of these guys. Thank you for the amazing support. You are elevating the channel in a way that YouTube doesn't want me to be elevated. So thank you. Tony Piacente says, "This is what happens when parents expect the schools to raise their children for them." You know what? That's very eloquent and accurate. Um, People have been doing that for a long time. I mean, having teachers in my family, the description is it's advanced babysitting with homework. And that's what they've become. And that's why they allow these teachers to teach bologna sausage outside of a curriculum, like identity politics. Your kid should not know any of the information about their teacher. The teacher is there to teach, to instruct based on curriculum and not on their identity politics or any of their politics. You should not know your teacher's politics. You should be getting the information that we should be getting from the news, unfiltered, unadulterated, and uh, unstructured by a narrative. Let's say that. So, yeah, I think we should not have schools raising kids. Last call with Troy Pacelli. What's up, brother? Says Culturcino is the most positive source uh, of wisdom. Well, thank you, and light in pop culture news and entertainment. Changed my mind. Well, I would never try to change your mind, my friend, but you guys should be watching both Troy and his wife on each of their offerings. They're just wonderful people, and I can't wait to see them again. Hopefully in Florida this year. And look, I'm not gonna shy away from public experiences because, first of all, I'm not the size of Charlie. I don't have the influence. I don't have the reach. And honestly, I don't even think I could measure up to how much of a quality human being Charlie is. But I try. I try every day to be the best that I can. And again, if you center yourself in faith and family, you have a more blessed life. So if you don't have family about, find a family. Find us. Hang out with us. Be part of a larger family. Be part of the Culturians. Do it here. Do it on Pro's channel. Do it over on Midnight's Edge. Do it on That Park Place. Do it over with Jay, Drunk 3PO. Do it with Loki. Do it with Makani Draws if you like art. Do it with these people, these good people that would never intentionally say silly things. Okay? We're here for you. And thank you for that. Sammy, what's up? Sammy Threepeat in the house says, I say unkind things sometimes. Like it's unfortunate. This weirdo got her dad's hairline. Yeah. Yeah. Did you see that? Let's take a look at that. Yeah. 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 This is a weird thing. Difference between men and women. Being a male often leads to lack of hair, unfortunately. It's the massive dose of testosterone. So the question is she so that she can wrestle? Is she taking drugs? I don't know. I don't like the fact that all these people resort to junk or gear or whatever you want to call it. I think it's incredibly unhealthy. The narrative around The Rock's weight loss right now is, and why he has to wear a muscle suit, by the way, to play the character he plays in Moana. For whatever reason, that name just slipped out of my head. But yeah, he says it's for a part. We'll see. I think like the actor that plays Drax, I think we're gonna find that maybe not necessarily true. We'll see. Thank you, Sammy Threepeat. Much appreciated. Hoove is in the house saying, I believe Ruby is still asleep. She was up all night. Dude, I had a terrible night's rest, but I had fun. I stayed up late last night. In case you missed it, I was tuning myself up for the late night culture show that's on Sunday evenings. It's one of the only times you might hear curse words on my channel because it's usually past when kids should be asleep. And I have some guests who are a little bit more loose with their language, so be pre-warned. But that's also where the AOAO song came from originally. That particular show, because it was a great outro. And you've noticed that has a couple of bad words in it, which again, it just happens sometimes. But I'm sorry. I'm glad. I hope she is doing better. You went to you're going to a ZZ Top concert tonight. Awesome. I just put the not quite final touches on my e-bike. Awesome. I got to see this, my man. I got to see it. So I'll watch later. Have a great day, all. Time to ride. I got to see this. These e-bikes are fascinating to me. I want to say thank you to Istaphobos for dropping a gift membership in the chat. Thank you, Istaphobos. You guys are phenomenal. And a quick shout out and thank you to Just a Dutchie for the euros there. 14.9. Spencer Cox shares new details about Charlie Kirk's shooting interview. Did anyone see this? I saw Spencer Cox talking about it in an interview, if that's what you're referring to. But I saw that was it yesterday, day before yesterday? So it must have been yesterday, and we actually covered that as one of the elements of the 6-minute daily just a few minutes ago. But yeah, I mean, we got some details about his lifestyle, his transgender partner, and everything else. So pretty wild stuff. So yeah, it's out there. If we have time, I'll go hunting for it. But it talks about the perhaps, and this is something that was reconfirmed by the leader of the FBI, Kash Patel, the director there, that this is broader inquiry than they originally thought. They are really just getting started on the investigation. And I think he's recognized that he's surrounded by corrupted individuals in the FBI, because a bigger, broader part of the story is the fact that all of the information, including the photos, were withheld from the director for 11 or 12 hours or so. So I want to say thank you to Just a Duchy. I will go looking for that. And I'll just say thank you to everybody who's been so very generous today, with their membership gifts and their super chats and just the things that actually keep the channel going in a bigger way. Because as we've talked about before, YouTube is no longer taking care of creators. They are only taking care of select few. Everybody else is being muted for the most part. And that's terrible. Phobos with another $2 worth of a Rumble rant. That's what this is. And thank you, my friend. Says Asmongold is a one-man crusade to call out the vile and despicable. I couldn't be happier. I want to support anybody who calls out the BS. Thank you, CC. You betcha, my friend. And I tell you what, Zach has been doing this in a subtle way for, gosh, I would say about 18 months now, since he seemed to turn the corner and just kind of recognize the world around him. And some of the things, the way he presents things is hysterically funny. There are nights when I'll be in the media room on the couch, and I'll be sitting there, and the boss will plant herself down and take a look and watch. He's great. So for those of you who don't know, Zach is Asmongold. And right now he's struggling with extra in his life. So cut him some slack. He is trying to help his dad through a bout of pancreatic cancer that just seemingly appeared out of nowhere. So there's that. I want to say a big shout out and thank you to one of my favorite Canadians, Randall Orser. Hopefully he will join us, as he often does, on the Tuesday night watch party, which is tomorrow night. For those of you Culturians that are members, thank you. Number one. Number two, join us for the watch party. It's super fun. I've got room for 1,000 people in my room. And again, it's a private viewing, which is on the screen. There are no special apps to download, none of that. You can just join us right there. It's amazing stuff. So thank you for the 10 Culture Casino memberships, my friend. Really, really appreciate it. And look at all those people that became members. Amazing. And then my friend Robert, who at this point, this is the greatest bit ever created on the internet for my channel. Is today the day? Squirrel. Well, by the way, I love that reference. Still, that movie's still fantastic. Anyway, I don't know. I have to. I have to extend this bit longer, Robert. Thank you for the $2 super chat. But if you're unclear what he's talking about he made a film called 15 Days. You can see it for free on Tubi. Kind of breaking down how a lot of us spent time for more than the 2 weeks to slow the something, over the course of the global crisis, which seems to have been, well, somebody's fault, let's say. I want to say thank you to Robert for that, and to everybody else who's here. You guys are amazing. All right. Well, we talked about The Rock. Let's talk about this crazy lady. Hannah, nobody knows who she is. Einbinder. That's a German name for you. Einbinder. She's one binder. She's probably a witch. You think I'm joking, but I mean, she probably is. Anyway, she was slammed for her crude Emmy speech. She's not a fan of ICE. You can see here by the quote. You can put the other two letters in there. Not a fan of ICE. And it was Free Palestine. I don't even understand how these people work in this town. I don't. I really don't. Her remarks obviously went viral after she won Outstanding Supporting Actress. There was a fella, his name was Ricky Gervais, who had the right sentiment for these people. They need to pay attention to it. Accept your little award. Thank your agent and your parents, and get the freak off the stage, please. Because I didn't want to hear this. Nobody else did. Apparently, there was a donation thing going on here. Whatever. I don't trust almost any charity now, because the money never goes where you think it is going to go. Especially the fire aid for California. None of that money made it to anything of note. It just went to cover the fact that they didn't have NGOs to you know they had to refund stuff that normally the NGOs would fund, which is why I believe in this country, around the globe, NGOs need to be investigated beginning to end, top to bottom, every single penny that's being spent. And I think it should be publicly disclosed how these evil people spend your money. Tax money should not support these evil causes and these evil people, which she is. Yeah, go birds, freak ICE, and free Palestine. This is a 30-year-old know nothing. Just dumb. Just dumb. Let's get a thumbs up and a heart emoji. Look at y'all, guys. Thank you so much for your support. I'm out here to. I'm not going to stop, guys. I'm going to be talking about crap like this going forward. We're going to call out these terrible humans every day. But sometimes it's not just, singular humans. Sometimes it's whole educational fronts. You guys saw Clemson University's having an emergency board meeting today because they have 3 terrible, terrible people on their campus that they still haven't fired after 5 or 6 days. A lot of these companies are struggling with it. In fact, Jay was sharing this morning. I think I sent him some of these things, but Jay was sharing this morning that obviously Ball State University is reprehensible and should lose their funding. Obviously, I mentioned Clemson, but there are a lot of entities that are terrified right now because they do not want to become the devastating lack of 20% of your business, if you're lucky, sometimes more. But if 20% of your business walks out on you as customers, you ain't making it because the margins aren't that high. That's why Target is a disaster. It's why Bud Light became such a disaster. You guys remember that, right? Is that just me? I want to say thank you to Weatherman for gifting a gifty over there on the green machine. That's much appreciated, my friend. And you guys are killing it in the chat. But let's talk about this. This is the one I wanted to get to. This is the Oxford Union president elect. This is a scumbag human being. And he's doubling down on his terrible comments. Oxford Union president-elect launches new attack on Charlie Kirk and says, "My words are no less insensitive than his." Dude, this is a reprehensible human being, and they're trying to get him out of there. Okay, they really are. But when you take a look at this, the Oxford Union, this is their statement, kids. Let's see if we can blow it up a little more. The Oxford Union has already issued a statement condemning the president-elect's inappropriate remarks. We emphasize that these are his personal views. It doesn't matter. He represents you, and you need to express that to him. Okay? Nor do they represent the values of our institution. Then now, why is he still in his position? At the same time, we are deeply disturbed by and strongly condemn the racial abuse and threats. Oh, shut up. racial abuse. No, he's getting backlash he deserves. Show us examples of this quote unquote racial stuff. Show us that. Show us an example of the threats. Yeah, they don't do that. This is a problem. I will not believe you until you bring receipts, and I don't want one from some crackpot. Okay? I mean, you can find mentally ill people out there. Apparently, they're a dime a dozen. They banded together to get rid of one of the greatest people on the planet. The Oxford Union has always been one of the world's foremost defenders of free speech. Okay. You've also been embarrassed by Charlie Kirk because your group of indoctrinated little know-nothings got shellacked by him. That's still a great video. Go out and find that one. That'll be fun. But this tool bag, nah. I won't hear it. I won't stand for it. I won't take it. The empowerment of evil is what the university system does now. Doesn't matter what nation it's in. We should not be allowing views outside of a designated curricula to enter into the educational space. Getting sick and tired of it. Anyway, we got Zen Wookie in the house. What's going on? And this is the thing. People push. So, you know why I make sure I have the articles to talk about the 6 Minute Daily or whatever it is. If I'm doing a video, why I've got 1, 2, possibly 3 articles that kind of all form what's going on, give you some kind of information. You know, I'll report on rumors, but that I let you know they're rumors, and oftentimes in the headline it says rumors of the stories that I select. You know, but oftentimes rumors are true. Some people have some really good sources, including Cosmic Book News, which people shot down. You know, some of the reporting that they've done, they go after people that are on YouTube all the time. That's fine. When those people, you know, when it comes out to be true, like in the case of Mangold's lies, he went after Matt Kadish. You don't do that. You don't go after one of my friends, especially one that actually knows of what he speaks. Somebody from the industry, somebody that understands marketing, the cost to make things. You don't do that, because then everybody's going to know you're lying, and when you're caught up in the lie, you'll never acknowledge it again, just like James Mangold, the biggest liar. Well, no, he's just one of the biggest liars in Hollywood. Technically, everybody in Hollywood's a liar because they're working on fake things. I mean, that's what movies are. They're not real. But in a larger sense, an actual liar. Mangold, one of them. In fact, if you've noticed, it's been the people who lie the most and loudest that are really the most ridiculous. James Gunn is becoming one of those people. Nobody is going to believe that guy. Now, it didn't, Jill, it didn't used to be that way in education, did it? Where you had the majority of educators trying to indoctrinate or they cultivate an environment for this kind of quote unquote education. It used to be about actually teaching people the skills that they were going to need for the world outside. So when Charlie Kirk started going after education as it is now, it's hard to disagree with him. I don't think you can. There's no proving him wrong on that. Oxford and Harvard are no longer the thought leaders. No, they are a source of evil. Yes. And that's a shame. I thought Clemson was going to be like, pretty based. I was wrong. Ball State, despite their funny name. Who was a big supporter of Ball State? Was it Bill Cosby? I don't remember. He wore a lot of HBU sweatshirts in the Cosby Show, if you guys remember. Anyway, Rooftop Korean says, so you complain UK limits free speech with arresting that comedian, but you want the idiot Oxford student punished for his thoughts? Well, yeah. Okay. You're conflating two things. You can say whatever you want, but there will be consequences for what you say. It used to be a punch in the face. Not so much anymore. So I I mean, a lot of people want to make it about a free speech absolutist argument, and it's that's perfectly fine. I mean, push that direction if you want. But when and I'm going to get it, I'm going to go into a nuanced direction here real quickly. When Elon Musk decided to support President Trump in his campaign, what happened? And as he dove further after the president won, and he dove further into Doge, what happened? The radical crazy humans out there decided to make Teslas, like yours, mine, my family's Teslas, targets. They made Tesla dealerships targets. Um, there were consequences to Elon's speech and his actions. They're the wrong ones. They were illegal. They were ridiculous. But there's always consequences to your words. You may or may not get a job because of something you said to somebody once that kind of walked around the room. You're free to say what you want, but you're not there to celebrate evil, are you? I don't think so. And I think that, in the old days, you got punched in the nose. Now it's a little different. Hey, John the Beagle Dad's in the house. Hope he's doing well. And our friend Griffin is here. Griffin. Yeah. Look, if you, like you said, I appreciate free speech. It gives me the ability to do what I do every day. Do you know who can shut this down and has for many creators in the past? The people running the platform. They already kind of shut creators down. Now we've had a conversation about that over the course of the last week and a half. Since the middle-ish of August, YouTube has punished channels. Shadiversary talked about it when it started happening, and most recently, Bellier News, which is a gaming channel. Not sure if you guys follow them, but they're really good. They're second best to that game place. But anyway, they do great things over there, and they talked about it. This is happening across the board. Clownfish has been talking about it. I think Pro has mentioned it more than a few times, but you're starting to see the effects. Some of it is advertising dollars are drying up. The only place that they really aren't is the electronic advertisements like YouTube commercials and things that would normally go out on other social media, right? But again, there's always consequences to anything that you do. So yeah, so according to Jill, and this is what I suspected because again, teachers in the family, um, I had to submit my curriculum every semester. I only got to teach one class where I had total control, and that was lit in film. See, now I would have loved to go see that class, and I enjoyed that. I'm just saying, some people are built for film school, and some aren't. Yeah, and that's the other problem. These are his opinions. He's representing you. All that little bio information on LinkedIn or on X or all of that, those are the things you're representing. I'm representing this town. I'm representing this university. Uh, since I'm using this profile picture of me all dressed up in my gear. It's good to see you, Zen. Thanks for being here. Um, at Central Michigan University, they have the university program where new students are required to take classes that no one would take voluntarily. Those classes indoctrinate. They need to go away. I don't think that you should have that. I really don't. So I'm with you. Born in Boston. Good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. Says my daughter-in-law uh, has AP English teacher has you friended me because I called out her BS Charlie. Unfriended you because I called out her BS Charlie post. Well, yeah, people aren't going to like that, but at the same time, these are people not clearly in touch with their humanity. The James Gunn Trophy. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're going to get. By the way, the Emmys were last night, which means that the Colbert guy, Colbert toothpaste, which tastes like dog duty. Anyway, he won an Emmy for the late night thing, which I think this may have been the first year for late night. Oh wait, no, it's not, but it feels like it because nobody ever cared. He got cheered for failing and being fired, driving a entire genre into the ground. He got an award for that last night. Just FYI. I think Paramount is part of the swing back. I think so too. I think Skydance. I mean, I think you all get the sense. Skydance acquisition of Paramount CBS. Um, I guess they bought all of National Amusements technically, regardless. And then if they do get this, if they do get this acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery, if this actually pulls through, I think that's almost half of the entire environment at that point. So they're up there on this. They'll become the same level as Disney as far as acquiring value, maybe even more. They could actually become the major player. Disney falls to second. That would be good for the world because honestly, a lot of these people, you don't know their politics, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You don't put politics on main. That's bad. It's bad for business. This was terrible for Disney. Neo Marxism isn't good for any um, company, Allie. And thank you for being here. Um, is it Ali or Ali? Ali. I, I don't know. So anyway, either way, I don't want to offend you. So uh, and you know what, Commander Red Striker Shadow, I agree with you. I agree with you. And Davina, you're right. Places like academia will be the last holdouts because, well, that's from which all of this garbage stems. It They introduced the idea of critical race theory into law schools. That was the gateway to get them in, is to put this, any of these things that they claim was a tie to justice in positions, and from there, more neo Marxism just spread. The Frankfurt College showed up in universities and is taught by people to indoctrinate youth. It's one of the funniest things about the Antifa folks to me is like, you are following the fascist playbook, you silly human. You are the brown shirts. Enjoy. You are the bad guy. And I think that's the bigger conversation. I think somebody was speaking to that this weekend. I'm trying to remember who. But this is the point at which some of these people are realizing that they're the bad guy. A lot of people are walking away from the Democrat Party right now publicly. A lot of people went back to church for the first time this weekend. Good for you. Some for the very first time. Extra good for you. I love it. A return to faith. We had a crisis of faith for a long time, a lack of it. Dearth. A dearth of faith. I like the fact that people are now finding within them a spiritual being and the fact that we are in a spiritual battle. So there's that. Spaceship Vampire. This is a great take. Well, I don't think old Gunny's lying when he says he sympathizes with and relates to Lex Luthor. No, none of the people in Hollywood do. They're not lying about that. They identify with the villain. They know who they are. Disney, especially. The reason that there's so much focus now on trying to make the villain relatable, um, it's just another way of going about indoctrination. We get into that in a different way, but that's the character they identify with. They know they're the villains subconsciously, I mean, look at Stephen King. Oh, that thing! What a disaster. Maybe I'll do a video on that this week. But that guy, that movie tanked. Did not do well. Long Walk or whatever it's called. I don't think anything coming out of King's library of books adaptations is going to do extraordinarily well, but we'll see. The 80s Red Sonja wasn't real. Yeah, I'm sorry, Asky. I apologize, my friend, but no, Red Sonja wasn't real. It was pretty good. Man, the Conan movies were great. Okay, anyway, I gotta stop. Reading, writing, and arithmetic, Scott Miller? Maybe. Maybe it's dead. Those are the things that kind of led the world. Now, any place that pushes woke math is dead. Dead to me. That's not a place of education and learning. The minute you go with woke math, 2 + 2 is not always 4. Shut up. I'm going to hand you 2 pencils. I'll hand you 2 more. You got 4 pencils. Oh, Lord. The lovely Sherry is here. Good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. Jill Powers is on the phone. Hoodow! What's going on? Teaching the tools for responsible adulthood. No more. Yeah. I think that's look, the creators I follow, almost all of them are in our sphere, right? Um, but the ones that I pay attention to, my peers, my contemporaries, whatever word you want to use, are all having the same reaction to all of this. And a lot could be said for the fact that we are definitely going to be like-minded people. Those are the people you usually tie yourself to. Um, but yeah, yeah, my phone is going bananas. So I made the mistake. Have any of you ever done this? I made the mistake of turning notifications on for everything accidentally. I don't know how I did it. I need to undid it because my phone went dead yesterday by like midday because the notifications were going off like it was like a flash bulb. Just like it was like the paparazzi were surrounding me with notifications. It was bad. So the phone was like, done. Yeah. Cat Slave killing it over on the green machine. I love it. We got a few more public things, but it's good to see you, Hoodal. Thanks for being here. Saw you earlier in the day, too. We got Randy Thotto Letterman. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that guy. Almighty Black Ass says, yep, I'm thinking about going to college. Well, my friend, it's not going well. college hasn't been great lately. Knowing some people who are still students trying to struggle through, having a relative that just finished, he went back to get more education in an area so he could up his degree. But yeah, he had to dodge like the wokeness that's built into everything there. So I felt bad for him. College be bad. Yeah, Newhouse Bruce says Bill Cosby was a UPenn grad. I think also though, if you go back watch some of that stuff, he is wearing sweatshirts from a lot of different colleges, and I think one of them was Ball State. If you haven't seen the Rick and Morty episode with James Gunn, you need to check it out. I have not. I don't recall it. I've seen several episodes of Rick and Morty, which is why I really hated She-Hulk. Um, I mean, that's not the only reason, but no, I'll definitely check it out. Thank you, Zen Wookie, for the recommendation. Uh, Man, I love this, except that it gets me way behind. I want to say thank you to the amazing Tender Warrior 68, who seems to be everywhere and full of support, gifting 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. Our wonderful friend in the UK drops in a Ram Bam 3000 with £5 sterling. I know a lot of people accuse me of ignoring the fact that maybe the pound isn't worth what it used to be, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Want to say thank you for this super chat. We'll read it in just a second, but I just scrolled by the one I was looking for from our wonderful friend Angela Richter, who gifted a Culture Casino membership. Our friend from Canada, Randall Orser, 35 months. Thank you, my friend. Says my aunt's mom's sister used to argue horribly about politics. She and hubby were staunch NDPers. Oh wow, and both worked for the BC government. That's why. Still loved her though. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I have family members who are crazy in politics. They clearly are indoctrinated and only watch legacy media, and their brain has been turned to mush because even after evidence is presented that everything they believe is wrong, um, they can't fight their way out of it. That's one of the bad issues with humanity, is that uh, you don't want to be made a fool of so badly that you'll deny reality. That's a form of delusion I don't understand, but that's a truism about being human. Hey, is that Zombie? Zombie's in the house. Zombie Box Reviews. What's up, brother? Yeah, I would say that parents are to blame for a lot of things. But in the case of this crazy person that shot Charlie and killed him, he seemed to have been in a pretty solid household. He just got, well, he became a Redditor of sorts. I'm going to look, some social platforms are full of indoctrination as well, whether it be Blue Sky, who has actually hidden their search feature now because it was helping expose all of the people that could be involved in a conspiracy. You're going to find out more about that in the next few days, I imagine. Um, but I mean, there's a lot here, guys. There's a lot there. By the way, if you're interested in a breakdown of Weatherman, go to bed, dude, please. And Tom's like, yeah, Cece, I turned off that thing. Yeah, I don't know what happened. The latest update made it silly that like maybe I hit a button while it was updating. I hate phones. I hate I hate updates on phones. I hate updates on computers. I'm like, just sell me the thing that works. And unless there's a giant security hole, leave it alone. I don't want you tracking me any more than you already do. I don't need Windows telemetry baloney sausage. You're gonna have to figure out if you're moving away from Windows, and you don't have the Windows getting smaller, folks, because sometime in the middle part of October, Windows support for Windows 10 ends, and you're going to be forced into Windows 11, which is a complete trash heap, and you'll still be full of all this junk. Anyway, sorry, tangent. But I got to get back to that. And I just want to say thanks again to Tender Warrior, Angelo Richter, and everybody else who made this wonderful dive into memberships. Because if we can get 50 to 100 memberships a day, we can get back to where we were as a channel of over 1,000 members. Isn't that amazing? 1,000 members. You know what that is to a creator? That's relief from having to rely on YouTube for a whole lot. So it's a big thank you from somebody like me after 6 years of doing it. Tom sent me a thing. Tom sent me a thing. I will definitely do that with Windows 11 because there is two systems in my house that have that garbage on it. So yeah, yeah. Oh man, you guys are great. I can't say enough nice things about all of you. Barry the Music Man is here. It's great for you to stop by. Cat Slave, of course, with that four pencils joke a minute ago. I'm just gonna say you're the best, and I thank you. I thank you all. But as Rambam was saying, and I promised I would read this now, for £5 sterling, that's proper money. I don't care what anybody says, proper bucks. Says it's not just that they see themselves as the villains, but also that postmodernism says that good and evil are only relative concepts. Yeah, and that's the other problem, right? Postmodernism, which is part of neo-Marxism, is a big problem. Which is why people like Julie Taco come rolling in out of a terrible stint over at Taco Bell to a place like Cracker Barrel, who's running interference on this one, guys, because they claimed that somebody was claiming to be a Cracker Barrel employee and went super crazy on this Charlie Kirk thing, like a lot of the freak shows have been doing. And they're like, no, that person actually says that they are not a Cracker Barrel employee. And I mean, they're scared. And this is why you can't lose 20% of your business. You can't. Your margin is not that good. Your margin's not that good. Food industry, not that good. Retail, definitely not that good anymore. Especially now that, you're not going to be able to get $6 t-shirts from China. You're going to have to pay a little more. Anyway, sorry, getting a little wild, but I just want to say thank you, Rambam. But you're right. Neo-Marxism is bad. RJ McCready says, a good show today. Thank you. Speaking of a good show, we're going to be moving over to a good show in just a few minutes. So I got to set y'all up for the fact that Midnight's Edge in the Morning is coming up next. I'm going to be on the show talking about the box office. If you're interested in that, please do that. Much appreciated. I hope I didn't offend Rooftop Korean. I thought we're just speaking plainly to each other. That's always the relationship I thought we had. So hope I didn't offend anybody. But honestly, it's not going to change what I believe and why, how. According to Zen Wookie, that Rick and Morty episode is season 8, episode 7. Thank you. I'm going to screenshot this as well. That's how I keep track of things, guys. I'm screenshotting it. So what else is happening? Asky says, I can't prove the people sitting in the same room as me exist. I don't know. Pinch them. See what happens. Godzillionaire. What's up, buddy? It's these stupid nightmare bricks we carry with us at all times. Yeah. I cast off the load of everybody else's expectations long ago now. I cast away a lot of filters. There are very few things I won't say anymore. I guess that's what maybe that comes with being older. I don't know. It's just different for sure. Man, I'm gotta turn these notifications off. It's driving me bananas. Jeff Elms in the house says Reddit was always pretty bad, but it got way worse after 4chan shut down. Yep. Yeah. By the way, 4chan is taking it to the UK. I love it. And this is true, Scott Miller's speaking truth. This is from a conversation we were having just a few minutes ago. Admitting fault is not something that most will do. Well, they just can't. It's terrifying to have to admit. I guess I never experienced this, that you're wrong. See, I always took being wrong or being shown something different than my structure, right? A chance to grow. You can only learn and inform your arguments by having arguments, by talking with others. It's why it's as important to listen as it is to speak, which is why I'm probably one of the only creators that out there. And thank you, Zombie Box Reviews, for gifting a Culture Casino membership. But I'm probably one of the only creators that that regularly highlights the entire chat. Look, I'm going to highlight the super chats. We're going to have a more in-depth conversation about that. But because that's what makes the channel live at this point. It certainly isn't ads, and and B, you guys are important. What a lot of you have to say is important. It's why I chat with people, super chat or no. Um, you'll probably be sitting there one day, your name gets hollered out because of something you said in the chat, that because something you said was good, or I wanted to just say, hey, acknowledge you. Not a lot of creators do that. I'm a little different. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Linux. Look, when I was working in the knock, um, this is a long time ago, guys. This is back when the internet was moving from dial up to broadband. I helped with that transition. But when I was working in the knock, we were using everything. Linux was a lifeline in terrible situations. And usually that's how I would drop updates to routing tables and things like that. Um, so, man, that's a long time ago. Whew. Anyway, it IT has moved so fast, so far, that the things that I know are useless unless I'm in a third world country, because everything moved faster after I left. So anyway, I'm 6 minutes behind you guys, but thanks again, Zombie Box, much appreciated. The Wild Man of Yavin is in the house. Gentlemen, money, and gentle ladies. There you go. I should do that. I should start doing that. JPS is in the house, still with one of the coolest avatars, with a Clippy that's going to go play some Mass Effect. Having a bad problem with Windows 11 since I got my new PC a few months ago. Wait. It hasn't had a chance to love you. And then you're going to really hate it. Look at this. It's a super duper pair giving me coffee. Thank you. It's going to be a long morning. We are headed to Midnight's Edge in the morning right now. And I just wanted to say thank you to the Wild Man Evan for the last super chat of the day. Right here. The Wild Man of Yavin for 5 Culture Casino cash for the wrenches. Wait. Oh, wenches. Yeah. Wait. Wrenches. Wait. Hi. What's going on? And we love our wrenches here. And Carbon Dallas popped in at the last month. Look at all these great people. The beautiful people. Speaking of people, I haven't seen Deeple this morning, but I did see JPRPH1 with the pair. I want to say thank you for the coffee, my friend. On that note, you will be automatically redirected over to Midnight's Edge in the morning, starting in about 4 minutes, maybe 5. And you're not going to want to miss it. We're going to talk some box office, and there's going to definitely be some conversation around Charlie Kirk and Hollywood's silliness and all of that. And then we'll be back here live again tomorrow morning for the 6-minute daily, along with at least one more video tomorrow. And I think going into the week, it's going to be busy because I'm going to be live streaming on Tuesday in the afternoon. I'll be live streaming on Thursday in the afternoon, and I will be live streaming Sunday with the Late Night Culture Show, which means I am streaming 7 days a week. Extra shows for you. We got to talk. We got to talk about it. Zombie Box says a lot of people of these loons, I should say, have lost their jobs for posting videos of themselves celebrating Charlie. Yeah, I know. You reap what you sow. And look, it's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture, and we should all be very mindful of that. With that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya for real.